Morning, everyone. Welcome to a Hatha Yoga class. This is a snow day in Iowa, so I wasn't able to make it to the studio to teach, so I decided to offer a Zoom presentation and to record that for whoever might benefit from that. Today's theme is from the Niyamas. It is Isvara Pranadhana. This is to do with surrender, and I've got a little reading for you. So I'd like you to start by taking a comfortable seat on your mat. Just find a comfortable way to sit where you can begin your transition process. Just bringing yourself in to, your awareness of breath and to your proper posture where you start to be more mindful about the way you're carrying yourself. If, by the way, you have a couple blocks available, gather that around so that you'll have that for some additional support as we begin the practice. So finding our comfortable seat and finding a nice deep awareness of the breath. Let's ponder this, maybe closing your eyes down so you can take in this information from the inside out. I have a teacher I listen to quite a bit who will use the phrase, close your eyes so you can listen with your heart. This niyama has been translated variously as devotion to God, yielding of all actions to God, contemplation of God, or surrender to God. Isvara is one of the many Sanskrit names for God. All religions, large or tribal, have a name for the Supreme Being. Yoga is not a religion, but it does acknowledge the indivisible mystery. However we envision or name God, we realize the human mind cannot possibly grasp the full picture, and that even our vision of God is limited because we are limited. We are part of a great reality that is too big for us to see or understand. Everything is intricately interrelated. Whatever is done or said reverberates throughout the cosmos. It is said that the beat of a butterfly's wings affects the world's climate. All we can do is act on our best information with the best knowledge we have and with the kindest motives, and then leave the results to God. So let's take a moment now to just set our particular intention for class, just having that as a backdrop, this idea of the Isvara Pranadhana, surrendering. But take a moment to feel what your body needs, what your psyche needs. I call the psyche and the soul sort of the same, use the same word. What your emotional body needs. Turn palms up on your lap. Use that as the mudra of receptivity. Hands are open to receive, and it actually, paradoxically, maybe it also seems to be a gesture of surrender, doesn't it? A couple deep breaths. And then continue with your eyes closed. Let's bring one hand to the low belly and one hand maybe to the heart or to the chest bone, the heart center or the chest bone, and then one hand in the low belly. And then let's begin that 3-part breath where you feel your belly rise and it continues as the inhale lifts up. It's kind of a wave of movement through the body. Starts at the low belly, moves into the diaphragm and lands in the chest or up by the collarbones. And then exhale that breath all the way out. So see if you can feel the layers of the inhale, a 3-part layered breath. Starts at the low belly, expands the diaphragm up into the chest bone, and release. Let's do a couple more like that. 3-part breath. Try to breathe in and out through your nose if that's available to you. If it isn't, just breathe in a way that's comfortable. One more. Good. And let's sync up our breath before we begin. Inhale up, palms come together up and overhead. Exhale as you bow into your own heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way around. We're going to begin standing up. So let's begin our standing postures now. Open your feet a little wider than the mat's width, or about that. And I want you to start by just moving your hips side to side. Hands are at the hips and you're just moving to loosen up. Let's circle that like a hula hoop. Stay with the same direction for a few more movements, circling around. Then let's change the direction of the circle. Side to side movements. And let's add some movements of the arms. So as you begin to find movement in your hips, let's add the arms. So it's just a sweeping action up and over the head. Use your ear as your guide as you bring your arm up and overhead. See if you can go right by your ear. Couple more. And then both arms reach up, palms face each other. Let's find a standing back bend. So all you're doing is pulling your hands back and away. I want you to really stabilize the low back by pulling in the belly muscle. So pull in the belly, let your tailbone drop, stabilizing the low back. So this is an upper thoracic back bend, our standing back bend, real stable low back. Find your breath. Let those shoulder blades slide down the back. See what's to do with your head. Maybe looking up feels all right for your neck. Maybe it doesn't. So we're checking to see if lifting the face to look up is all right. Or we'll just bring our head to more of a neutral position. Let's deepen the breath. Head comes to neutral, palms are up and overhead. Let's take an inhale together. Exhale as you bow into your own heart. Inhale up. And exhale all the way around. We're going to bring our hands to our thighs and just slide down our pants all the way down to a forward fold. Surrendering the weight of your head, I encourage you to keep your eyes open here. You don't need to look at the screen, so don't keep trying to check. Just fold forward. Let your head, the weight of your head, surrender, releasing, so that you can feel the ability to just shake your head as if to say yes and no, moving gently. Likely we've got a little bend in the knee as we're just beginning and just getting warmed up. So allowing the bend of the knee, no problem. Let's jump our hands to our thighs, jump above the knees and bring your hands to your thighs so that you're creating like a bracket, like a shelf bracket. This gives us a pretty good chance to straighten out through the backs of the knees. So straighten out your legs, press your heels into the ground, press your toes down as well, and feel that half lift, like your back body has created a tabletop. Back of the head, neck, and spine in alignment. Find your breath. You want to feel that breath moving through the length of the spine. Now keep the strength of your legs now, that strong leg pulling in the belly, nice and strong in your tabletop. Can you release your arms away from you like you've got wings? Pull those fingertips back, extend through the chest bone, eyes are down, nose down. And then hands come back to the legs. We'll slide all the way down back to our forward fold, Uttanasana. From your Uttanasana, can you squat yourself down? Squat, 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 so that you find yourself now on the mat in an all-fours position. We're going to line up into that traditional tabletop where your shoulders are in line with your hands and your knees and hips are in alignment. And you notice I've begun the cat and cow movement. So again, try not to focus too much on watching the screen. This is familiar pose. Just begin to move through the spine, tucking and tilting your pelvis as you find that extended spine of the cow and the rounded back body, the C-shaped curve of the cat. Pay attention to how your neck is responding. See if you can get your neck to be involved with the movement the same as the rest of your spine. See if that's doable. Stay true to your full breath cycle. You want a full breath in, full breath out. And the next time you're in your cow pose, you're in that arched back, that extended spine, turn your toes under and float your knees above the mat. So you brought your cow up, floating above the mat, and that's going to escort us right into our downward facing dog. Lift up. Take a look at your feet, make sure they're straight, and see if you can put more compression of your feet into the big toe ball mound. So as you're finding your footing, see if you can find a little more awareness, a little more compression into that inner part of your foot, the big toe ball mound. You want about the same distance between your hands as what is between your feet. See if you can match that up. If you need to walk the dog as we begin here to just press one heel down at a time, then just be sure you're really mindful of the movement, that you don't just start running, racing that dog. Mindful movements. And deepening the breath so you feel a connection in your body with the breathing. Let's give it one more full breath cycle. Exhale it completely and bring your knees back to the mat, and we're back into our all fours position and back into the cow and cat movement. Try to exaggerate the movement so you're really getting a good stretch and move, lots of movement through the spine and tucking and tilting the pelvis, and also changing the tone of your belly. Again, we're going to meet in that extended spine, the cow pose. Turn your toes under, float the knees above the mat, hold that, and let that lift you up into your downward facing dog. Match the distance between your hands with the distance between your feet. And I encourage you to get your arms as close to your head as possible, that you can almost feel your arms alongside your ears. We've got our awareness into the big toe ball mound of the feet. So how about the compression in the hands? Maybe that index finger, the ball mound of that, is also a little more compression. Deepen the breath, allowing the body, surrendering to that notion of allowing those heels to drop any amount. Let's come back to the floating cow. So when we come back, just like the way we came into it, we've got our knees hovering above the mat, and then lay them down. Let the tops of the feet extend long. And let's find a child's pose now, letting the hips and buttocks drop in toward the heels. Arms extend out. So a long arm pose of the child. Let's turn our hands up. Our palms are open. We're back to that mudra of receptivity. Or in this case, today it might speak to us more as a mudra of surrender. Deepen the breath. This is our most intimate experience of breathing, isn't it? When we're in our child's pose, it's the most intimate awareness of our breath. Exhale completely. Let's come back to our all fours position. Try not to move your shoulders or your hips, but just move your head to look over your shoulder. So it's just a way of getting to know what the range of movement is in your neck today. So try not to move your shoulders or your hips. You're just isolating the movement, looking over your shoulder, looking back, and seeing how that feels in your neck. Slowly come back to center. Do the same thing to look to the other side. Isolating the movement in your neck, trying to keep your shoulders and your hips steady. and back to center. Let's try that bird dog positioning. It's sometimes called a spinal balance. We're going to extend right leg back and left arm extending. So opposite limbs are extending away from the midline, away from the belly button, out and away, kind of hugging toward the center of the body, but extending long overhead and long past the hips. Toes pointing down, fingertips reaching out. Maybe you notice your thumb is pointing up to the ceiling. Hold it by pulling in the belly button. Feel your whole body drawing into that region of the belly button. So you feel like you're anchoring yourself to that midline strength. Let the hand and the knee come back and touch at the same time. Let's extend left leg long. Toe points down, right arm extends alongside the ear. Thumbs pointing up. Steady that breath back to a fullness of the breath cycle. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Let's try this as more of a flowing or a vinyasa type style. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, all fours. Inhale, change sides, extending, exhale, all fours. Inhale, extend. You get it. And if that breath connection doesn't make sense to your body, or you're feeling like it's just not matching up, then find the breath pattern that does. Don't spend a lot of energy on figuring it out. Just see what your body is teaching you. Last time, see if you even it out. Feels like you did the same number on each side. And then we're going to slide back into our child's pose. The hips and buttocks drop into the heels. Extend those arms long and turn palms up. Let's deepen the breath. Maybe this is time to catch up with the breath. If that movement kind of left you a little breathless, this is a good time to catch up. Good. On your next inhale, let's come up to our all fours. And this time we're going to come into a low lunge. Take a big step forward with your right foot, but go wide. You're going to be on the very outer edge of your mat and let your toes point out toward the right. This is where blocks might be helpful. If you want to have your hands on the blocks just to give you a little more height, we're just going to be pulsing, kind of coming into this lizard-like position where we've got our toes pointing away from center and we're into the hip. This can sometimes be sort of a circular movement or just a pulsing. I want you to just feel your way through that. Keep your chest propped up. Try to keep your head propped up so you don't feel like you've just rounded through that. We still feel strong through the back body. Can you roll that foot to the pinky edge? So you're rolling that front foot off to the pinky edge of the foot and then finding what kind of sensation that offers. It's a kind of a free-flowing, creative movement, so you can't do it wrong. You're feeling your way through. Good, and then bring your foot back to center or bring it back to alignment with the hip. So we're kind of in our more traditional low lunge position. Let's get a block or hand on the floor. So left hand is on the floor or on our block. And we're starting to position ourselves for a twist. Let's bring the right hand back to the sacrum. And then see if you can join me. As we lift up the arm, we also lift up the knee. So turn your toes under on that extended leg and lift up. Arms are in a straight line with one another. Keep your knee hugging in toward the midline. That front knee wants to drift away sometimes. Draw that knee toward the midline. And see, notice how your head is positioned so you feel comfortable with your neck. I like to line up my ear with my hand. So I'm just lined up ear to hand. Full breath in and out. We'll lower the knee and lower the hand and come back to an all fours position. We'll switch sides now. Take a big step forward with your left foot. And then bring your foot out to the outer edge of the mat and let your toes point away from center. And we're going to start that pulsing movement. Just finding some circular or fluid movement here to open up the hip. Maintain the strength of your back. Be sure you're carrying your head well so your neck isn't straining. And then remember to add in the possibility of rolling onto the pinky edge of the foot and finding what kind of sensation that offers. Keep a softness of the mouth. Don't need any tension there. Relax your tongue. Relax your jaw. And some twisting of the body and turning and circling. Good. Let's come into our lunge now, bringing your foot back to center. Hand on the floor or on your block. Let's prepare now for our twist. So we're starting to rotate the trunk of the body, getting your left hand onto the sacrum. And then we'll see if we can pop it up, extend it out at the same time. So turn toes under of the back leg. And as you lift up your knee, you'll lift up your arm. So arms are in a line with each other, and make sure your head is turned in a neutral way so that you can feel that support for your head. Your neck is comfortable. Draw your knee in toward the midline. And let's connect to that breath. Keep your pelvis elevated, real strong. This time when we come out of it, let's keep our back leg up and step forward now as we frame our front foot. Let's step forward into a forward fold. Surrender the weight of your head. Try to straighten out your legs as much as you're able. Hands touching something. So if you can't bring your fingertips or hands to the floor, bring them to the block or bring them to your shins. So you're not just hanging your hands out into the air, but they have a sense of grounding, someplace that you're touching to ground. Let's bring our hands to the shins, just below the kneecaps, and bring yourself up about halfway. Flatten out the back, pull your chin up and in towards your throat. Back of your head, neck, and spine in alignment. Pull the belly and notice the connection of your feet, the pressure that your feet are making into the mat. Slide your hands all the way down, back into your fold. And this time, let's use a reverse swan dive. Let your arms help carry you all the way up, all the way up. Palms are just facing each other now. Feet are in a parallel position to one another. And let's try a standing back bend again. Pull back. Hands pull back. Stabilize the low back. Pull in the belly. Let your tailbone root. And look up if that works for your head and your neck. To look up, let your face look up. Nice, and then palms can come together up and overhead. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale, back up. And exhale, go all the way around to interlace your hands behind your back. And we're moving into that pyramid pose. So we're going to prepare now to, with your hands interlaced, let's step the left foot back, right foot forward. It's just a scissor step. Your feet have their own particular track. You're not trying to be on a balance beam. And let's come to a half bend. So we're bending forward or folding forward, but in your chest, drive the bus here. Keep your chin kind of pulled in towards your throat and let your knuckles pull back and away. Lengthen through the spine. Feel the sit bones pulling back. Sit bones are pulling back to the back of the mat, while the crown of the head is extending forward. Let's release those interlaced hands and slide your hands right down that leg. And we'll work towards, this is where a block might be helpful, or a couple blocks. Just take your time to get that if that's helpful for you. To fold into this, that powerful pose, this stretch, often referred to as just a powerful stretch, powerful pose. Spine stays long. Big toe, balm onto the foot, root there. That front foot, let it really root there. And take your thumb right into the crease of your leg and your hip there, right into that crease, and pull back. So you're rooting through the big toe balm on, and yet you're trying to pull back through that outer edge of the hip crease. Beautiful. I can see for sure I'm going to want both blocks, so I'm going to go ahead and get them. And then let's shift our weight to the front leg, and we're into now a one-legged balance here with the leg extended. Square your shoulders over your hands. Tuck your chin in towards your throat and hold. Feel the whole surface of your foot supporting you. Both feet together in our forward fold, hang it out. Hands come to the shins, we'll lift up halfway to a flat back. And then let your arms carry you all the way to standing, all the way up into a little back bend. Stabilize that low back. And as we come into neutral, we're going to extend those hands back behind us, interlacing and pulling back and away. Let's do the other side now. Left foot forward, right foot steps back. All 10 toes are pointing forward, so you want to make sure your hips are squared and your feet are pointing forward. Arching the back body, this is going to keep our shoulders where we'd like them. So we interlace the hands to kind of bind our arms where we want them to be. Let the chest bone lead the way as you fold forward into a flat back. Tuck the chin in toward the throat. Because your face kind of wants to take over, but we want the chest bone to be the driver. Feel your feet, find your breath. Big toe balm under that front foot's going to be a great source of grounding here. Let's release those interlaced hands, maybe find our block or just glide your hands down your leg. Whatever gives you the best sense of ground and finding your way through. Big toe balm on, just pressing in. Let's get that thumb back to the crease. On the left side now, pull it back. So you're rooting through the big toe balm on the inner part of your foot. And at the same time, you're engaging that outside edge of that crease to pull back into your fold, to deepen that fold. You know, ideally, our face can fold down toward our leg. Let's deepen the breath. I'm going to grab a block for each hand. Otherwise, you can just keep your hands to the floor so that we can shift our weight to that front leg and extend that back leg back into our one-legged balance here. Toe points down on the extended leg. Find a flat back. Feel your foot. That standing leg, big deal here. Strengthening all the bone mass there now. Pull in the belly. It never hurts to get a lot of core strength to help. We'll bring both feet together, and I want you to squat into your chair pose. So we're starting to let the hips and buttocks squat down. Maybe float your arms out in front of you. Get your body weight into the heels. And then let's lift up the arms. No pressure in your knees. You want to pull your body weight away from the knees. Deepen the breath. Let's bring palms together at the heart. And try add a twist. So left elbow is going to come on the outside of your right thigh. Elbows line up with each other. So it's straight up and down. There's pretty good pressure between your hands. Let's breathe deep. Let's unwind from that and prepare now to twist the other way. Right arm comes on the outside of the left knee and thigh, elbows straight up and down from each other. This is where I like to pay attention to how my ear is, how my head is turned and where my ear is facing. It's like, let's make sure the ear is just facing straight down. It really helps to maintain the support of your neck. Beautiful. Let's unwind from that and fold all the way down. Just tumble on down like a rag doll. Jump your hands to your shins. Let's lift up halfway to a flat back. Use your arms to carry you all the way up, all the way up. Palms come together overhead. Inhale, exhale, heart. Inhale up and exhale all the way down. Let's try a wide angle now. Take your legs into a wide angle. Keep your blocks here nearby. You might need them. Just kind of keep them within an easy hand's reach. Opening up wide. I'll mirror you here, so maybe that's more helpful. I'll mirror you. So I'm going to turn the right foot, turning your right foot toward the top of the mat. I've got two mats, so I've got that direction to help. As we come into our warrior posture, so make sure that you got that correct alignment of heel to the back arch or the back heel, and then swing the other heel out just a bit. So it's not, just gives you more like a 45-degree or 60-degree, I guess, angle on that one. And then let's just pulse. Get our hands to our hips and pulse in and out. We're trying to make sure that our body weight is distributed to both legs. It seems like the bent knee is trying to take all of the body weight, but I want you to be sure you're also aware that this extended leg is carrying you. Pull the belly in. Drop a root through the tailbone now. So both your feet create a root for you, also the tailbone. Palms open now as we extend into our warrior. Let's deepen the breath. Let your left arm pull you back to neutral. You notice how you sort of start to shift? Pull yourself to neutral by letting that left arm pull you, and then you'll feel the length of your spine in a more vertical position. Reverse warrior, hand drops to the thigh, the other one lifts up. Let your face look up if your neck is okay with that. Let's deepen the breath, catch up. Get your shoulder blades to pull back. Good. And then let's come back to our warrior. Let's straight leg that warrior and find our triangle, Trikonasana. Spine is long. I like to glide my hand down the legs. This is where some people use a block for their hand to come to. So if that's your practice, please grab your block. You want to kind of tuck under that right butt cheek, kind of tuck it under. Now find your drishti. What's the best place for you to turn your face and focus your eyes? Beautiful. Let's bend that knee to come out. That's going to help us get out back into our warrior. Hands come to the waist, and let's just straighten the leg and let both your feet just turn back to facing forward now. Just bend and straighten, move around, a real reset of the body. I'm going to move a block over here just in case. Need a little time out. So let's try the other side. So rotate your left foot all the way over. Find that posture for warrior. Turn that outside heel out a little bit. Remember, there's a relationship here you want to maintain. Let's bend and straighten. Start training your body and your mind to connect with the posture in a way that lets both legs support you. Let both legs carry your body weight. Press the big toe balm onto that back foot. And let's kind of orient the front leg more toward the pinky edge of the foot, just a little. And we're growing that root of the tailbone. Extend the arms, palms up. Pull in the belly. Deepen the breath. Find your drishti. Commonly, we're looking down that extended arm, looking down through the middle finger or something like that. Anything goes, but I like to find that neutral place. Make sure you're not leaning toward the bent knee, so bringing your spine into a more vertical position, a more neutral position. Let that right arm kind of pull you into that. That's it. Reverse warrior, lift up. See if the tailbone can drop you even deeper. You're pulling into the root or allowing that root to pull you into a deeper version. Back to our warrior. We'll straight leg our warrior now. And come into our triangle, Trikonasana. Use your block if that's what you like. Try to open up your chest, rotating so your navel is kind of rotating forward. And then lining it. This is another one of those places where I really pay attention to how I'm holding my head. And so what do I line up with my ear to the front foot? And then focus your eyes. That's the drishti. So your mind doesn't get so wandering because your eyes are looking all over. Just keep your focus. Hold your head in a particular way. And it'll give you more focus. Let's bend the knee to come out of that. Catch up with the breath. We're just going to kind of do a little cartwheel around all the way down to frame that front foot. And then we can step back to our downward facing dog. Let's drop to the knees. We're going to do a scooping cat. That's where you drop your hips and buttocks back into your heels. Feels like you're going into child's pose, but you don't. You drag your chest and forehead down along the mat as long as possible. That's through their very long inhale. Exhale, you're in cat. That's called a scooping cat. So heels drop down. Your hips and buttocks drop down into your heels. Inhale, inhale as you drag yourself on that mat as long as possible. Round the back body as you exhale into cat. Last time, inhale, long inhale. We're dragging the chest. But this time we're going to land on our belly. Come all the way down and stack your arms so that your forehead is supported by those stacked arms and you're in what some people call a crocodile pose. Let your feet come open a little bit so they're not quite so close together. Tops of the feet grounded. And feel your belly breath now. Surrender your shoulders, just release and relax. 2 breaths. And we're moving into cobra. So hands are going to position themselves under the shoulder. Keep your elbows bent. Elbows are drawing in toward the waistline. Let's come on down and breathe. Catch up with your breathing. On your next inhale, lift up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up, cobra, pubic bone grounding, exhale down. Turn your toes under, see if you come right into your downward facing dog. Maybe you segue through your all fours position, but we'll all meet in downward dog. Lift your chest so you can lift your head. Look through your hands. Take your right foot and step it right into that. Into a high lunge. Steady yourself now. Let that front thigh help you stay steady as you bring yourself into an upright position. The back heels up. It's a lunge. Palms face forward as we lift up into a proud position here. I call this a proud warrior. Palms come together right here. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, frame that foot, step back, downward dog. Find your breath again, catch up. Lift your chest, and that'll help you lift your head. You're looking into the space, other foot steps forward, left foot forward now. And steady yourself up. Proud warrior. Feel the connection of your feet to the ground. Maybe again, if you found some encouragement with that big toe ball on being sort of an anchor for you, find that on that front foot. Palms come together. That's our inhale. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up. This time, exhale, step forward into your mountain pose. So just meet with our feet in a parallel position, palms facing forward. Inhale up, look up. Exhale, heart. Inhale up and all the way around. Let's shift our weight into one leg or the other as we move into our tree pose. So taking your time to find maybe you move in your room and you get closer to a wall so you feel the support of that. And allowing your weight to shift into the standing leg. It's the root of your tree. It's the trunk of your tree. Remember the leg that is leaning against that tree trunk is rotating externally. So you want the knee to point away from the center. Arms are the branches of the tree. So I want you to just express that. Drishti is probably the most important part of a tree pose. Finding your focal point. And then commit yourself to the fullness of your breathing. Full breath in and out. Let's put a smile on our face. It's so amazing how you just turn up the corners of your face, of your mouth, and then you feel differently. So let's just try that experiment. To come out of it, both feet to the floor now, palms then will meet up and overhead. Inhale, exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up, and exhale, go wide with the arms, and let's just set up for the other side. Externally rotate, so you want that knee to point off to the side. Pull in the belly. And the arms are the branches of the tree. Just do something, whatever's creative for you, whatever feels fun. Find your drishti. And then put that smile back on your face. And just notice how that feels in your body. Get both feet to the floor. Palms come together overhead. Bow to your heart. Inhale up, palms just face forward. Fold all the way down, forward fold. Start to squat into the chair position. So you bend your knees, let your hips come back, back, back. Let's walk our fingertips forward as far away from your feet as you're able to and still make contact with the mat. You're in a squat, the chair-like squat, palms come together. And then see if you can lift palms up and overhead. Weight of the body is in the heels. Pull the belly in. Inhale, exhale, stay. And tumble all the way down like a ragdoll, forward fold. Look down and underneath yourself. We're moving into downward dog, so I'm just squatting and stepping back into it. So coming from there to your downward facing dog. Drop your knees. We're going to do that scooping cat again as you let your hips and buttocks drop to your heels. You drag your chest along the mat and come up to your roundness of the back body in the cat pose. Inhale, long inhale. This gives you a lot of upper body strength. Round as you exhale into the cat. Last time. Hips drop into the heels. Drag your chest. This time we're coming belly down into our crocodile. Stack your arms. Let your forehead rest there. Belly down. Catch up with your breathing. Feel your pubic bone as a connecting point. Let's move into our cobra again. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, elbows bend on your elbows, squeeze toward the midline. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale up, cobra. Exhale down, release. Last time, inhale up, cobra. Exhale, release. And then just take your time now to roll onto your back. Roll onto your back now and find constructive rest where your knees are bent. Maybe you open your feet as wide as the mat and you feel your back body totally supported now with the floor, of course. You're just feeling the ground support you. Let's open our arms away from the body in a way that just feels comfortable and natural, and let your knees drop side to side in that windshield wiper fashion. Slow it way down so when your knees drop right, you're able to turn your head left. When your knees drop left, you can turn your head right. So slow it way down. Good. And then let's bring ourselves back to center. Arms are up and overhead. And let's let our feet come off the floor. Knees are bent, shins are sort of parallel to the floor. This is our inhale position. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Stretch your legs long, up, feet reaching to the ceiling. Inhale, feet come to the floor, arms are up and overhead. Exhale, bridge up. Arms are alongside the body. You let the pelvis lift up. Let's hold it now. Breath in and a breath out. Exhale down. Again, we're going to take a reset. Inhale for full breath in and out. And then let's do the vinyasa again. Inhale, arms are up and overhead. Shins are parallel to the floor. Exhale, legs stretch out, feet to the ceiling. Inhale, arms overhead again, feet to the mat. Exhale, bridge. Draw your thighs toward each other. Find your fullness of breath in and out. Lift your pelvis. Exhale now as you bring your hips down. Take a pause to connect with the full breath cycle. And last time on the vinyasa, inhale, arms up, shins are parallel to the floor. Exhale, arms alongside the body. Let your legs extend up toward the ceiling. Inhale, feet to the floor, knees are bent, arms overhead. Exhale, bridge. This time, interlace your hands underneath your body. Can you move your shoulders such a way that you can interlace your hands and hold your bridge, push the feet to the floor, lift your pelvis. Feel the length of your neck now. Just feel that nice lengthening there. Keep your pelvis lifted as you kind of squeeze your energy. You're just aware of the strength and the support of that midline energy channel. So you're kind of going there for the support you need. Let's release the hands, release the back body all the way down. Now, anything your body might need, so any position you're looking for, this is a time to do that. I'm going to encourage a gentle twisting so that, maybe that would be something if you're looking for ideas that you do a full body twist of some sort. But we're moving into Shavasana, so I'll let it be entirely up to you to decide how to get there. So I'm going to change my camera view and I'll let you either do a twist or find your own reset now to bring you into your comfortable place of Shavasana. Get your blanket or socks on your feet or whatever it is your custom, so that you can really settle in to this place of surrender. Bring your hands to your body, a hand to the low belly and a hand to the heart or center or the chest bone there. And again, just for a breath or two, find that 3-part breath where you're feeling your breath. Inhale through the layers. Inhale, inhale, inhale. So it's that low belly, diaphragm, chest. And then just exhale, soften it all out. And then find the layers of inhale, bringing you into a really full and expanded inhalation. And then soften it all the way out. Very natural. It sounds so choppy with the description of it, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It's just this flow of the breath up and up and up. Exhale. And then you can stay with that breath if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, just release your hands and let your body find its own natural breathing rhythm. Stay with your awareness of the here and now. We just have a few minutes left. It's so easy to start ready to go, ready to move on, and you leave, your mind leaves the space. What our awareness to that will help. So we're going to stay with our breath, stay with our sensation in the body. Breathing a full breath in and a full breath out. Try to listen for your breath. So your senses start to come online to really help you stay in the present moment. Listening, maybe noticing, what your body feels like laying down, that you feel the connection of your back body to the mat, and you start to feel that sensation of touch. We're listening for the breath, and we can, feel our taste buds in our mouth. Just bringing yourself online through the sensory perception. Now, for this last few minutes of quieting, a reading from the Book of Common Prayer. Thank you for the wonder and the beauty of the world, for the light of day and the splendor of the starry night, for the wide order of your laws made known by science, and for all things pure and lovely revealed by art, for the powers of our reason, the freedom of our will, and the joy of our pure affection. Blessed be the Creator of all. Amen. Stay with your breath. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of your mouth like a sound of ah, big sigh. Do at least 2 more like that. A big breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Ah. Step your feet to the mat and roll to your right side. Pillow your head with your arm and draw your knees up into your belly like a fetal position. And to me, it feels like a hug, a big full body hug. Stay there as you breathe in and out and you feel your body in this most intimate way. thanking yourself for your practice today. And then when you're ready, only when you're ready, bring yourself to a comfortable way to sit. Sit up tall. Do something kind for your head and neck. So I'm going to suggest you drop your chin to your chest and you just start tilting the chin from right to left, left to right, just keeping the length of the neck, and you're just dropping your chin down, moving side to side mindfully. And when we come back to center, let's lift the head up and tilt your ear towards shoulder. Breathe it through. Don't hold your breath here. You really need the breath. Come back to center. Tilt the other side. You want ear toward shoulder. You're surrendering the weight of your head toward your shoulder, allowing for that stretch at the side of your neck. Slowly come back up when you're ready to a neutral position. Let's sync up our breath one last time. I'm going to bring hands together up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up and exhale as we share this beautiful, peaceful energy to our communities. Palms come together at the heart. We bow to ourselves and we bow to each other. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful holiday.